Like maybe scoot it forward.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on a Friday night, where tonight we're gonna make a peacock wreath. I did this last year. It looked amazing, and I don't know if you guys remember earlier this year I've done a couple unboxing videos where I showed you guys some new ribbon and some new mesh that came in. So we're gonna look at that and see, is it a good thing or not? While we construct the peacock wreath. So this looks a little bit different for you guys, because I'm going to kind of try to speed through the process a bit so that we're not, because this is a two-step base building is what I should say. So the Deco mesh that we're using tonight is a new mesh that came out at Craft Outlet. It looks great when you bundle it, which means if you make it super thick so that you can see the colors, and I know it's going to be hard to see on camera, and that's why I kind of thickened this up, but depending upon which way you tilt it in the light, it either looks green or it looks blue, and it's called peacock mesh. So this just came out, and I thought, oh, this would be a great mesh to use on a peacock wreath, rather than use 3 different color meshes, because I think that's what I've done in the past. I used a green, a royal blue, and like a teal color. So when I cut this today and put this on the base, as you'll see, I'm going to just do one section to show you what it looks like. It's not thick enough for me. And I've been particularly a little bit more critical of my wreath designs. I want them thicker. I want them to look better. I want the quality to really be there. And I'm probably my own worst critic. But as you'll see, it doesn't really show you, like I would want it to look like this all the way through, and sadly it doesn't. So the only way I think you would get that look is if you probably doubled the amount of material that you use, but that's an option you have. So first of all, if you want to get notified when I'm going live, because sometimes we just do unrehearsed, unscheduled lives, make sure you click the like and follow button at the bottom of this page. That way, if you happen to be Facebook surfing, you should get a notification in your Facebook feed that shows that I am live now, which is generally always Fridays at 5 Pacific and then Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you like this design and want to replicate it once you have all your materials together, then you can go ahead and click the share button at the bottom. It will share it to your page where hopefully it'll be easier for you to find. Are you stuck?
No.
Oh, I didn't even, I'm still like in my text messaging app. Okay, let me get into here real quick. Let's get rid of this. Is that even a possibility? That's weird. Why do I have a dual screen? This is weird. I've never seen that on a tablet where I have dual screens. Hang on. Let me get rid of that and that. Oh lordy. Old people and technology. Go away. This is just starting to be the death of me. It really is. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to pull it up. And of course it's not pulling up the page I want. That goes away. This pulls up. There we go. Now it's funny. It's all multiple windows not supported yet on my tablet. It was giving me multiple windows. So go figure there. Okay, we're here. I got it. This way I can see your comments. So let's get started. This is going to be the same way you're going to wire a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame in general. So I'm just going to do one of the 6 sections. You're going to take your pipe cleaner. You're going to go right in the middle of each section. And the Dollar Tree 14-inch frame has 6 sections total. So I just use the weld marks to kind of give me a guide point of knowing where is the middle. And I'm going to wire together the 2 innermost rails right there. And the reason why is it creates stability on that particular frame. And then we're going to use another pipe cleaner. We're going to use this and the frame, the weld, to kind of find a halfway point And this time we're going to do the outside too. So I'm going to put these in just like that.
Thank you for liking and sharing.
On this side, I'm going to flip this up. And that is basically how you would wire each section of the 6, which would give you 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside for a grand total of 18. And then what we're going to do, these are cut to 20-inch pieces because obviously I'm into not having a lot of waste material. So doing 18 pieces at 20 inches should use the exact roll perfectly with nothing left over. We're going to ruffle, and I'm going to show you what this actual deco mesh looks like. As you can tell, just when I lay it down on the mat, it's fairly transparent. It's very thin metallic. And I'm just going to go ahead and ruffle this right up the center, just like that. Just like a bow tie, I'm going to take the finished edges. Finished edges go to the inside. And then you're just going to give it a couple twists, just like that. And then I have a tendency of opening them up. So that's the look that just one piece has. So I'm going to do the other two so you can see what we're looking at. Same way, always pick the imaginary line. And you're just kind of gathering, kind of creating like little folds right at your fingertips, just like this. Finished edge, always towards the center. Why? Because customers are going to, if they're going to be, maneuvering or fluffing their wreath at all, they're going to be doing it on the outside, not on the inside. So when we cut our mesh, this one with a wood burning tool, it's going to help reduce the frays, but it doesn't keep them from happening all together. So as you can see, there's one there. And then when we ruffle, putting those towards the middle, meaning the finished edges here, we have our cut edges here and here. We shouldn't be handling those too much as we're building our wreath design. So I just want you to see what a small section looks like. Go ahead and push this one to the side. Come in right here and lay this one in. Okay. Readjust everything, get everything all fluffy. So as you can see, it looks fairly thin, right? That was the first thing Steve said when he came out. He said, it's pretty mesh. It's got a nice iridescent, kind of translucent quality, but it's very thin. And I said, well, you can't really go on the higher priced wreath point, even though the deco mesh it's good quality, it's just on the thin side. So let me show you what this looks like when it's on a full wreath and it's done all the way around. So this one right here, I just got to add the last 3, which is the 3 that I put on here. This is the quality. And kind of putting it up by the white door, you can kind of see how see-through and translucent it is. Which means, even though we would come in, like when it sits down on the frame, it kind of looks better, but it's because we're seeing dark through there. It's on a darker background. So I'm all about making sure the quality is there. So I'm just kind of, for me, not 100% happy with this. We'll go ahead and add the last 3 pieces. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do to thicken this up and make it look a whole lot better. So far, it's a ruffle base all the way through, 20-inch pieces, cut with a wood burning tool. I'm just removing the ones I added and placing them in the last part of my frame. Everything is done according to the exact same way that we always do them on a 14-inch frame. I haven't removed the 6 inside because we're going to thicken it up. And we're going to thicken it up everywhere. Okay.
Thank you, Anna, for sending 200 stars.
So let me tell you about the stars. So the stars that you see at the bottom next to the comment button to the right, you'll see a little star icon. Stars are basically your way of tipping. But in this case, we're doing a fundraising. So we're trying to raise 5,000 stars, which is $50, to support our military that is serving outside of the United States. And what happens is they get a voucher that says there's been X amount of money banked for the next $50 worth of coffee or beverage or whatever they want. And that's kind of like a way of saying thank you from home. So that's what we're doing the Stars fundraiser for in the month of February. And I think right now we're at 115 stars. So my goal is to make sure that we hit that 50. And we will make sure that we match dollar or star for star in this case so that we hit that goal. I'm hoping we get more than that, but February is a short month and there's not an awful lot of time left to do that. So that's what that button's for if you guys are ever curious. So now what we're gonna do is I have 3 different colors. I have the dark, I guess they call it a royal blue. This is wide foil, meaning that it has a lot thicker foil going through this. We also have a high foil, which means that you have wide foil going through even more of the mesh to thicken that up. And then we have something similar to this, which is that thin metallic foil, but we're going to take these and we're going to do Cruffles. Each one of these pieces are 25 inches long. We're going to place one of these in each of the 18 pipe cleaners, kind of alternating the colors. I'm going to do the inside, what would we call it, the inside 6 first, and then we'll go ahead and do the outside 12 because then it's easier to kind of figure the alternating pattern. So these are all cut with a wood burning tool. All of these, including the Peacock Wreath or mesh, was from Craft Outlet, so you can find those there. And so to do the cruffle, you're just going to fold over the first piece about 1 inch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to use a chip clip. You can use a chip clip, a binder clip, a clothespin, just to hold that curl. Again, this is where it's going to fray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're just going to scrunch or pull that ruffle towards us, just like so. And I'm starting on the inside, so I'm going to take this. The exact way that I created it is the way of picking it up, placing it in finished edges towards the inside. So I'm just going to take this, put this in, give it a twist of about 5 times just to make sure there's no way that can unwork itself.
Thank you, Susan, for sending 530 stars.
Thank you, Susan.
Cindy Kane just sent 200 stars.
Awesome, thank you.
And Susan asked, could you repeat the colors again? So the
yes.
mesh colors.
So the one that's on the ruffle base is peacock mesh. It's a translucent blue-green. Then we have the teal metallic. Then we have wide foil royal blue. And then we have heavy foil green. They just call it metallic green. And you can find all of them at Craft Outlet. Okay, so same thing here with the royal blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll chip clip it. And don't worry, so many people will say, well, my curls, the ends don't stay curled. They're not supposed to. You're just supposed to create the design. And then they're going to kind of turn into more of a cone shape as you work through your wreath, or as it just kind of settles into a shape. I'm going to go ahead and place this one here. Oh wait, we're doing inside first. Let's do all the inside ones first. That way we can see. So I have them going to where I think it looks like a person with no head. It looks like they're just kind of going like this, like their hands and their arms are spread out. That's what it looks like. So that's how they're sitting in the wreath. Go ahead and push that there. So as you can tell, the arms, like our head would be right there, but they're laying in there exactly like that. So we'll go ahead and do this one. So then you can see how those are going to look on top of that. There we go.
Thank you, Darla, for also sending 530 stars.
Thank you, Darla.
I didn't see that. And oh, that's awesome. She said I donated $50 directly to Couple Joe for our military.
Awesome.
A great cause.
That's so awesome. It's funny because those went out in the newsletter, and I had so many people email back saying, what an awesome cause. I didn't know that this was a thing. And so people were doing their own donation, which is awesome. So what it is I guess it's Green Beans Coffee Company is the name of the coffee company, and they open up remote locations on the bases so that people can go in and get, I guess, what would be considered like a Starbucks on the bases, so that they get a taste of home. And so I guess if they show up and there's donations available, they are gifted a free beverage of their choice. And sometimes you can like enclose your own special message, like, thank you for your service. This is a taste of home. You know, we're praying for you, whatever. And then they can email you back and say, thanks, blah, blah, blah. You can't tell you where they're at for obvious reasons, but it's just kind of nice. We did that as a homeschool kind of thing when I was homeschooling my kids, and they got an opportunity to kind of stay in touch as pen pals with servicemen that were overseas. So it's really nice. Okay, so we've got the first 3 in.
Oh, Kathy, thank you. She sent 50, and then she sent another 780 stars.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know it's supposed to change something because I went into Facebook and I changed it to where we actually had a stars goal. And so it's supposed to, it's what it said it's supposed to do. It's supposed to track how close we are to achieving our goals so that it keeps people updated.
Melissa said I found that I like getting the chip clips that you get as freebies at events.
Oh, that's a great idea, right? You're like, little do you know, you're picking up wreath making supplies while you're out and about. So what do you guys think? Do you like this addition of adding a cruffle on top of a ruffle? This is always my solution to sometimes my private group members who have subsequently may have purchased less than quality Deco mesh, but they've already invested the money, so they're like, is there any way we can use that? And I'm like, here's a perfect way of doing that. You can thicken up the base, and then you're still using it, and it's going to give you a really nice, super thick base. So keep trying to alter my colors the same. We did the teal, we're doing royal blue. And then we'll finish with a green. And I think what I'm going to try to do is when we actually do the fundraiser and purchase the donation, we will email whatever responses we get from people that are benefiting that, so that you'll get to see how your donation really impacted people.
It's just a peacock sign on the side. Looks like a logo.
It does, because there's nothing there. It doesn't say like welcome or happy spring. And it's because this design is made to look like the peacock's body. And then we'll be adding the sign somewhat to the center. And then we'll be adding some other embellishments to really pull off a really gorgeous look.
You're not going to put it on the bottom of the center? Like the bottom of the box?
Kind of.
Not sure. For me, so I like it. It's different than last year's.
Yes, a little bit. Doing different mesh and different technique, but still similar. Okay, so we've got our inside 6 done, and you can already see how that has dramatically changed. And you're probably thinking, how in the heck are you going to get 12 more in there? Well, we'll figure it out as we go along. But yes, it definitely does thicken this up quite a bit. 1, 2, 4, 5.
Take note too that the more you mesh put in there, the more it's going to raise the cost. About $20 in.
Yeah, but you're only doing like 6 pieces at 25 inches, so you're really not using a whole lot. This for me was leftovers. I had a lot of leftovers. So I was able to use leftover rolls of these colors that I had from another different design. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in here. And what you need to do on the outside, as we have discovered yesterday doing Cruffles, is if you didn't have the ruffle layer in there, you kind of have to find a way to interlock your Cruffles, which means that your inside ones are always going to fill the gap between 2 outside pieces. Kind of like when we did this piece here. So here's our center Cruffle. And then you're going to have the 2 outside. All this one does is it's a filler for the space in between these. So then when you have one here and one here, you have 2 fairly close together. These 2 we almost kind of have to interlock, so that if you didn't have the Cruffle or the ruffle underneath it, it's going to fill in any gaps. Okay, 1, 2. And we'll pull that through. I love using the high foil because that really gives you that metallic look. So this is what I'm saying. Here's our jumping jack guy. So jumping jack, jumping jack. This one's going to turn because see how these 2 are fairly close together? If we put them side by side, there's going to be some gap in here. So I found that if you take the one that we're going to put in here and just turn it ever so slightly to the side, it'll create a nice, like right in here, it's going to kind of create a nice filler so that when this one comes in straight up and down, it's going to kind of bunch everything together and keep it kind of cohesive. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I find some people are like, well, how do you keep your curls tight? Just keep them at 1 inch. Like when you're starting, keep them at 1 inch and then just roll at 1 inch. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go right down the middle and just pull that towards me. Remove the chip clip. And that's how it's going directly in.
Michelle said, I bought some basic mesh by accident, so I used it as an accent, and it actually turned out really pretty.
Isn't that pretty though?
And Susan said, so technically speaking, we can mix all grades of mesh when we pick the colors we want, meaning the least expensive and the most expensive, correct?
Yes, you can. So let me be the first to clarify that for you too, is think of wreath making as a recipe. You can vary the recipe depending upon your flavors, depending upon the size that you need to do. So wreath making is kind of like, here's the recipe for how to make this one. If you want to vary that and make it different and add your own flair to it, then by all means, make adjustments. I hate to see people get stuck in that, well, it's just this or it's just that. No, we can vary how we want things to go. And yeah, mix and match. That's how we find new designs, is somebody took a risk.
Trevor, the pieces are cut to 25 inches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at this point there was no reason, even if it was thinner mesh like the teal is, it's the same type like the peacock. Because we're doing the Cruffle technique and we already have the ruffles underneath, we don't need to go anything greater. So I'm mixing this one up because I have this royal blue here, but I didn't want to put royal blue on top of royal blue. So I'm just kind of changing what goes where. Okay. And then we're just going to move things around as we like them. And as you can see, it's just kind of filling everything in. And then now we'll do the royal blue.
Thank you, Susan, for that promotion.
What was that?
It's a perfect explanation. Everyone needs to join you in the private group when available.
So it's going to be opening soon. Just keep watching. I'll give you guys some heads up once we're a little bit closer. We're trying to put a couple things in place before we open it. And then we'll be working on that throughout the year to get everything that I want back into the group. Okay, I'm trying to find, here's where I left off. I spun it. Okay. So we're gonna move some pieces around, make sure our pipe cleaners are free and clear. And then of course these colors we're going to complement the that iridescent blue green that's underneath. So it's going to create a really nice under color. See how this one is much thinner, but it'll still work.
Ravina said, I'm not a green person, but that green is calling my name. It is really pretty.
That's the trending, yes.
High thick foil.
It's the high foil. So it's got the wide foils like every other one in the Deco mesh. And remember, that's emerald green is the trending color for 2022. So maybe that's why it's calling your name. Okay. We're just gonna flip that around. And let's go green. You can totally tell this is one of the ones that I used to sample what I thought. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you guys like this design by the time it's finished. The reason why I used the Cruffle method on this one is because I needed the tubes. I could have done curls, but I wanted it to be really super thick because basically we're creating the body of the peacock with this design. So the little tubes are kind of like his little feathers. Okay, now we'll come in with royal blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can totally tell when I'm getting down to the end roll, when it really wants to fold back on itself, like that, which is okay.
The colors look amazing on the line.
Yeah, and they actually look that color. Because we've been having some issues where the color just doesn't really look like the true color, but I think we balanced that out.
Yeah, I had to change the balance again at the beginning of the line.
You did?
Yeah. It's different when it points down because there's more white. So.
I'm going to do the teal.
Alright, so love the green and the blue. Probably you have the peacock ribbon from Sam's Costco at the Christmas sale promotion. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is when it very first came out, it was made with canvas. And then when it came out the second time, it was kind of like a polyester blend. So I actually had both, but the one I had been using was like the polyester blend. So I pulled back out the canvas one so that it's really nice. So those colors are just really popped now.
Hi, Richard. Ravina said I've got that green mermaid sign. That would be beautiful too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Trying to find it. It's in here. We're going to do green. There we go. We just got one of each piece, one of each color left. And then our base is done. 3, 4, 5. Pop that off. And I'm going to go way in here. Put our green. Well, look at what that did to that base now. It's like whoosh, volume. It's like we just added a lot of volume. Royal blue. And then we have our teal. Okay. 1, 2.
I wish I bet that green is sold out. You great for St. Pat's?
Yes, it would.
I'm also not a green person, but it is really pretty.
So you guys are liking the heavy foil. It's kind of like a premium, so it's a little bit
Thick.
Well, thick,
Wide.
but it's also a little bit on the pricier side because it's got wide foils every other row. But it's so worth it.
They're more likely to probably post the material list in the private group tomorrow morning.
Yeah, won't be tonight.
We're gonna go out to dinner after this.
Dinner? What's dinner? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is our last piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wish we would have done a before and after. Like taking the before picture where it was so transparent, and then this after.
Yeah, reasons I prefer the white foil mesh too.
Oh yeah, that's my preferred, like, it's always my go-to choice. So, let's see. From curl tip to curl tip, we're right at 24 inches. But look at how nice and thick that is now. There's like...
Plus deep, it's probably...
The only thing you can see the light through is in the center where it's just barely anything there.
Probably already 7 inches deep.
Yeah, it's nice. So, very thick. Like I said, we've taken out the 6 inside. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to put our outside tails in here. And we are using the same ribbon that I think Arvina said. This is the Costco, but this is the canvas Costco. So this came out way before all the subsequent ones. And then we're also going to use this particular type of peacock with the feathers on it. And this is more of that turquoise color with the feathers on top. These are both cut to 14-inch pieces. We're going to alternate these all the way around. Oops. Don't want to go dive in for those. And then we'll come in and we'll add our 1.5 inch pieces. So this one's got more of our gold.
It's so nice about Costco too, because when you buy it, it's a 50-yard roll.
Yeah.
So it lasts a long time.
Well, this one was the nicer of the two. I didn't realize that, you know, and I think they did that by their second year. They were like, oh, that's probably we're probably losing money on that because it's the heavy canvas on both of these. So those are always my desired ribbons over that. It's kind of like a polyester satiny kind of blend.
Thank you, Diane. She said that blue is so pretty on you.
Thank you. Okay.
You said your chip clip matches it.
Right, everything. Chip clip. So these are what we're doing. We're just adding these right into the outside, alternating the colors. At the end, we'll figure out, do we like the blue more predominantly, or would we rather see more of this to our outside colors? So we'll just keep doing this all the way around the outside. So it makes it easier once you have those colors in. And so you're just kind of placing them in and then popping them outwards. So this is why we chose to do the cruffle, is so that it kind of looked like the little eyes on the ends of the peacock feathers. Okay, just like that. Back in here. I just created one of these not that long ago. I had a customer who's like, they needed one because somebody had lost somebody and they loved peacocks, so they were like, I have to have that peacock wreath. So I'm just doing like two, it's like a twist and a half to the outside. It's just kind of coming around the corner. Trying to get these in to the center of my pipe cleaner so I still have room for the other ribbon that's going to go on top. And that one's going to be fun because we're doing the 3 different colors again on top of that. So I think I said Costco for the one with more gold on it. And then the more teal colored is Craft Outlet. Okay. What do you guys think of the colors? I know you guys like the green. Such a nice addition. Like, you would never think that those colors would all complement each other so well, but they do. Here's our last 2. Then I have to make a decision. So I'll show you what we're doing. Maybe you guys can help. Okay. So what we have for the 1.5 inches is, this is that new peacock ribbon. So it's the iridescent blue-green. This is going on half of the 2.5 inch, and then we're gonna alternate the royal blue, the teal, have it here, and then the green on the other set of 6. So it's gonna kind of go like, it'll be like a blue and then the teal, and then a teal and then one of these, and then a green and one of those. So it's kind of alternating. But I'm looking at which one do I kind of like on what. I really like the teal on top of the teal, believe it or not. That seems weird. Yeah. I would have thought I would have wanted to go on top of the gold. I'm going to go teal on teal. So these are now cut to 19-inch pieces. Yeah. I just like throwing Steve a loop because he was like, oh, 14, 18. I was like, no, we're going to do 19. Why 19? Because I want them just a touch longer. 2, 3.
Teresa, no worries. This is a Hi Steve from Cincinnati. Beautiful wreath of the colors.
Thank you.
Sorry I'm a little late. I'll watch the rerun later.
No worries. It'll go to replay right after we finish this one.
Since I love them all together, I'm surprised that I do. Well, because the colors are all complementary colors.
They're all that cool color palette. So I'm going to take and we're going to alternate. I'm going to do the blue and then we'll do the green and then the teal.
Yes, and what? 19?
19!
You threw me off too.
19. Right? What's an inch? Not much. And there's very little pipe cleaner actually left since we put so much mesh in here.
The rest of the colors are gorgeous. It's going to be stunning when you're done. You already have the sign up in your...
It's actually a picture that's similar to the one I just did. So it has pretty much the same colors. You'll see it. It's already there. And I think Gail's going to post the link. If you're interested in this, there's only going to be the one. Okay, so we're going in. So we're just taking these 2 inches in. You're going to lay those directly in to your pipe cleaner. Whichever one color you pick. You're going to take the leftover piece and you're going to wrap it behind the loop. And then you're going to open the loop and you have to right side one of your pieces. So I'll show you what this looks like as we get, let me get one more in here. And then you'll see. So just like this, 2 inches in. This is going right inside. We're going to twist. I've just had them pop open. So I'm just making extra doubly sure they won't ever pop open.
I beat you, Gail.
She was supposed to try and see if it'll allow her to pin.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, wasn't a race, wasn't a competition. Okay.
Gail, can you pin it to the page?
Did you delete it? Oh, you haven't pinned it?
I didn't pin it, no,
okay.
I posted it.
Okay. 2. Okay. So let's see if I can get these ones. I think I'm almost not halfway yet. So let me show you kind of what this is looking like. Oh, I need one more piece on that.
I haven't seen it pin yet.
So this is what it's looking like around the outside. So they're called half bows because a bow should generally have 2 loops. These ones only have 1. So it's kind of like a 3D awareness ribbon.
Yeah, what you should be able to do is press and hold your post, and you should get like a drop down that says pin comment or delete comment. Let us know if you can.
Go around, grab another one of these. Love the new ribbon. So we'll be getting more. It's a really good quality ribbon. I can see that being used on beach wreaths a lot. Since it's kind of like an open web, super pretty. So this is what I'm talking about, this open web. Now we've got royal blue.
Susan, the half bows are they're 19 inches.
I threw you all for loops. Just because I wanted them to kind of meet the ends If you notice now, the ends of the half bows are actually about the same length as the regular ribbon tails, which is what I wanted. In, open. So I still want to see the little eyes. So what I've been doing is kind of placing them to where they kind of fall but aren't completely covered.
Jenny asked, hey Kat, when do we do the Mother's Day wreath?
I think April 17th or April 15th. This is what I believe. Oop, nope, fish the web.
Thank you.
Did she pin it?
Yeah, she said it's April 14th. It's on the banner and the wreath is in 1 street.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did pin it, so she was there too.
Yay! It worked.
Yay. Thanks, Gail.
Right? Thanks, Gail. So I'm kind of taking the half bow tails and kind of placing those in between the other ones so you kind of see both. If I can arrange that.
Carla said, first time seeing your craft work. Beautiful.
Thanks, Carla. So if you guys are new, this is your first time joining us, let me know where you guys are from. You never know, you might find a crafting person here. I saw that happened on Sundays, I think. People are even doing it on YouTube as well. So you guys are finding your connections. 2 more. It is thick, which means this should be somewhat, this should have some weight to it. So I'll put the gold underneath, like that. This one, nope, this one. Otherwise I would have had 2 the exact same. Peacock wreaths are kind of hard because sometimes the signs don't, they're just like a peacock sign. And then I guess you could kind of build the color. This one I kind of wanted it to resemble a little bit of the body, which is why we did all the curls, is so that it would kind of look like his little plumes, feather plumes that come up. Last one.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom out.
Okay.
Katie wants to come.
Okay. So there we go. There is our gorgeous base all done. And so we are going to create the bow. I know you're like, how are you going to put a bow on that? Super simple. The bow's actually going to go at the bottom. So when our peacock is in, the bow's going to be down here, kind of cascading kind of out and then down, just like all the feathers are here. So we are going to move this over here. And then I'm going to grab all my bow making stuff using my bow dabra. grab these. I think I have all my colors. My clips. Don't need those. 1, 2, 3. Here's the last one. Okay, so where they all come from? Well, we know Costco, Craft Outlet, the green, believe it or not, came from Shinoda Design Center, which is a wholesaler online. So if you have a business license, you can purchase from them. The blue tinsel, it's actually not glitter, it's tinsel. This is from Craft Outlet. The mesh webbing is also from Craft Outlet. And then we have just enough of the blue tinsel, which is from Craft Outlet as well. So we're going to start with the Costco base ribbon, and we're going to go with 10-inch tails, but we've got to dovetail the end, which is bring the wired edges together. And then depending upon how deep you like your V is going to determine where you're going to start on the fold. But our destination point is always going to be the same at the end of that wired ribbon. So just like this, and then you have a really nice dovetail edge. We're going to measure off 10 inches, and we're going to push in, and we're going to twist that. So we always start with right side fabric facing us, and then wrong side fabric will be away. We're going to do 5.5-inch loops. So you're always going to see me taking the bow dabber and bringing this back right here on this 10-inch line. And then I'm just going to kind of pull my loop in until it's right at 5.5 inches. We'll do the same on the other side. That's about 5.25. There's 5.5. And then back out the other 10 inches right in here. We will do that. And there we go. So there's the first one down. Oops. Hold on a sec. Isaiah says, I need to go for the first time? Go where? Oh, the place is amazing. Shinoda? Yeah, next time when I go, feel free and come join me. I'd love to take you there. A lot of florals. Okay, then we're going to take the other 2.5 inch. This one's going to be paired at 9.5 inches. In. Twist. Place inside. This one we're measuring our loop size at 5 inches. So let's see if we got 5 this time. A little bit longer. Right there. Pick it up. Spin it around. See if we can get 5 inches in. You tell my cameraman's back.
Susan, yeah, that's an 8-inch round.
And, oh yeah, I totally forgot to tell you that. 8-inch round sign. From Personally Yours. So it's plwreathsigns.com is where the sign came from. For me, so far, it's been the only one that I can find that is pretty much like I want the whole body. I don't want to see any white or any border. I just want peacock, center, and then plumes. Yeah. But not small peacock, big peacock.
Charlotte's weird. She said for some reason I'm not able to send stars. Do you see the little link at the bottom where it says send 200 stars?
See, mine, I'll see if I can.
You should see a little star emblem at the bottom.
It's right there. So
yeah,
it's
sure,
right.
Something before.
Yeah.
That's okay. The ounce of that ribbon is beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let me decide what I'm going to do. We need to break some of this up so we don't get this and this happening. So I think I need to do this. I I think that's how I'm gonna have it go. Because we gotta break up all that teal. So I'm gonna do the fishnetty stuff. Yeah. So this one's really interesting because if you don't cut it right, it'll fray. But I find that if you match the little hexes up, you can cut it right down the center. And then when it opens, everything is still sealed. So that's kind of how I did the other one, so it doesn't fray. And these are going to be 9 inches. You have to be a little careful with this one because it's a little bit on the fragile side. Here's another pin. These are going to be 4.5-inch loops. Right there, it's 4.5. Up and over. Let's make sure. 4.5, and then we're out to a 9-inch tail. Right here. And then we want to make sure that we're getting right between those lines so that they're sealed. Because that was my first thought is, oh my God, how am I going to dovetail that? It's got those open webbing. So now we'll do our royal blue tinsel. Same way. This one is 8.5, right? 10? 9.5, 9. Yes, this is 8.5. 8.5 up. And then it's also going to be 4.5-inch loops. So, because we've already done the bottom one, and they're both 4.5, if you put your fingers in them and pull, you don't have to remeasure the top one, just the tail length. So, measure and pull. And then back out to 8.5. There we go. Okay, our blue is done. Mesh is done. Now we'll do green. This is actually a green glitter. That was a short piece. I just kept that one. I don't know why. It's 17 inches, so I was like, I don't want to throw it away. It might be just what I need if I come up short or there's a bad splice. This one's going to be 8 inches with a 4-inch loop. Should be right about 4. Right there. Up and around. Another 4. And then we're 8 inches out. Dovetail. Okay, last one. Go in there. Hopefully we have just enough. We're hoping. Yes, we have. It needs to at least be 24 inches. And I think it's 26. So we are going to do 7.5-inch tail, twist, 3.5-inch loop. It's a really small loop. Sometimes that becomes the deciding factor over which ribbon becomes the top. If I just have a little bit and I really want to finish it off, that will work. And then we are
Stress that after doing a black and white wreath today, I'm loving the colors.
I'm sure you are. But the black and white one you did was gorgeous. Okay, so that's literally exactly what we had left. And let's put our pins back since those are gone. And now we need to use our pipe cleaner. I'm going to use the dark blue. We're going to pick this up just like a club sandwich, I would say, pushing down. So we're compressing that ribbon. We're going to take our pipe cleaner, put it right down the center, and then you're going to tighten and hold it as you twist this about 5 times. Just so it's got a good twist on it. Okay, and then we will fluff that out. But this one's going to be a little bit different because this bow is sitting at the bottom of our peacock, means all the tails need to go towards the bottom. So fluffing this the old-fashioned way, it's going to be a little different. So I've got to kind of keep that in mind.
So you said, I bet you got a lot of glitter hanging around. Actually, there's not a lot of glitter on this, is there?
Most of it is tinsel, like the blue.
Yeah, the ribbon is more of a tinsel.
I was trying to put it on the same side. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all my tails down to the same direction. So I'm going to pull all these down because they all are going to go towards the bottom. So down here. Down, 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 trying to get these two unstuck. There it goes. And then this last one is right here. Okay, so let's do it this way so you guys can see it. So all the tails are now angled down. So what I do is I'm going to pull out one loop. I guess we could do it here. So we'll start from the top. We're going to go blue and then green here. Okay. Then I'm going to switch because we have 6 ribbons. So we're going to alternate the colors all the way down. Here, we're going to pull the blue up. And the teal towards the center. We're going to pull the blue down, teal up, right here. And then we're going to open these ones. So I did gold at the bottom. Because ain't nobody want to see flat bow. So up, and then we'll take all the tails and we're going to angle these down, 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 down. So this way they'll follow the contour of the wreath. It's a little easier to get the bottom ones once we get it on. Let's get all those colors so you can see them all. Okay. So that is, I'm going to flip this up. That's how it looks. So the stuff you see on the board is just the tinsel. So I'm going to take this off. Try to think of which way because I turned it. Taking it off the same way we put it on. There we go. So there's our bow.
A little bit.
Yeah, all that is just the tinsel. our sign. I think I wanted my sign right in the center, which is kind of nice because you just push all the tubes out of the way. But we don't want it to sit so far inside that, see, like right now, the tubes will just hold the sign in there. But that's where our sign's gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach that by, I'm going to keep grabbing my old one, not the new one. This is a Beadsmith metal hole punch plier. It's 1.5 millimeter. And I'm going to use 22 gauge floral wire to attach the sign, since it's so thick, to the base of our wreath. So there's that one. There's this. We're going to go through the holes we just made, and we're going to build from the back and not from the side. So many people build from the side.
Shall she put a ruffled base down and then put Cruffles over it?
I really decided to mix it up today. This one. So when I talk about building from the back, I kind of create a little base of wire so that it's building a layer as I twist them around, so that the sign will lay flat and not out towards the side. And I had my thing. I'm looking for it. It's right there. Okay. I'm going to move my tubes. Make sure they're not in the way, because they like to sit under the underside. I'm going to take my wire and go straight down to the frame. So there's one. And I'm not going to pull too hard because I don't want to suck it into the wreath. So there's that one. Do the same thing here. Make sure that's pushed, and then I'm going to push that ruffle back under there. Go right back down to the frame. Trying not to stab myself with the wire. There's that one. And there we go. Thanks. Up and under. We'll slide that down. Pull our little tubes up around, and now we have to attach our bow. So I kind of knew that I wanted to kind of place it right here. There's kind of a gap, which makes for a perfect home. But if I don't move these, that bow is going to float on top. So what I want to do right here for the base is I want to take my tubes for this one and push them right underneath the peacock. I'm going to push these ones out to the side, just like that. So we have a nice little home for our bow, which should basically be right about, hold on a sec, here. I'm trying to find my other pipe cleaner. And I don't want to go too far with my bow because then you'll collapse your bow. But now we need to get this all fluffed up. And if you need to move your tubes, just move your tubes. I'm trying to pull my tails back down. Moving my tubes. Okay, do it on this side. Okay, well, let me show you what it looks like thus far. I'm going to make sure the bow is centered right on top of the peacock. And tuck that ruffle under. So there we go. Yeah. So he's pretty much centered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right down on top.
So the last thing, I know, right? You're like, what else could she add? What do you think we would add? Well, you know, because you sat there and helped me find everything. Let's make sure all those loops are open. Find them. So, what does a peacock wreath need?
Saying, wow, wow, wow.
Isn't that pretty? We have peacock feathers. So we're going to add 5 of these. So these are the ones with those gorgeous little blue eyes. My cats would love these. So I'm going to look for, I'll lay these out, see what I have. Trying to match them up so we have some that might be a little bit smaller. Which are just absolutely gorgeous. So I've got 3 good sized ones. So I'm going to put the 2 little ones in the center. Here's another thinny. So that these, we're going to kind of fan out a bit. So the way it's going to go is I have to trim these down because you don't need the feathers that long. But we are going to have one. Trying to figure out where he's supposed to go. Right there. Right center with our peacock. We're going to take another one. I'm just going to use these for placement right now. Trying to get the tubes out of the way. Because they kind of go in between the tubes. Wow. This one just does not want to sit where it's supposed to go. Let's make sure. Because they need to lay flat as they're being glued, not turning. So there's that one. One out to the side. Look at all that. That will come out there. Going right in here.
Also gorgeous. Obviously gorgeous. This also makes me think of colors of the ocean depending upon where you live.
Mm-hmm, it does. last one kind of, because it needs to go here. First one I was looking at just seemed a little close, but I guess the other one is pretty far down, way down here. So let me show you these. There's like feather debris. I think that's probably worse than the glitter.
Let's go back and glue them in.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. But this is what it kind of looks like right now. I'm going to go ahead and glue those in. So there's one here, one to the side. There's a total of 5. So we're going to do this one first. I try to just pick the very bottom pieces off so you have like a good place to glue. And you don't need to put a ton of glue on, but enough to get it to stay where you want it to be. So I want it flat. So I need to make sure it stays flat while it's glued. Grab this one. Get a couple of these off. So we have a good spot to glue. Goes right here. This one between the green and the blue. There we go.
Did Gail tell you?
Did Gail tell me what?
Sold.
Salt.
Sold.
Sold? Oh, it's sold.
Yes.
So this one's gone.
Yep.
Nice. I love this design. It's just so gorgeous to make. Thanks. Trying to make sure this feather dries flat because it wants, based on how it's the weight, it wants to tip down, and I'm like, I just need you to stay flat. Okay. Let's flip this one. Oop, that was the one we already did. Here's the last one. Make sure everything's in. Okay. Hold flat. I can't wait to see it up on the door. Actually, I can't wait to see it in the sun tomorrow. This is just going to have a whole level of, between the metallics, the glitter. Okay. Right where it was, girl. Always making sure we are gluing right side up. Okay, you guys ready to see it? On the front door. Yes, on our front door. On this front door. Let's take it that. And we will add this up there. Make sure all my curls are all fluffed.
I don't want to make one, Kat.
Now you can. They're super fun to make. Just take your time. Okay, let me show you what this looks like.
George said I got about 30 free peacock feathers free if Star was giving them out, and I couldn't sell them.
Really?
They're not a purchase from a company. Well, now you know what to do with them.
Yeah, make a peacock wreath. Or you can sell the feathers, right?
Yeah. Latrice, she glues them right down onto the Deco mesh because it acts as like a really nice net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just like right inside, like in between the bundles, it just kind of goes in between the little tubes. This one should have been up a little bit higher. Hold on. Let me turn this one out because it should have been over here. Now that I'm looking at this one went down too far.
The peacock feather?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we will just reattach it.
So fast. It actually sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Sold just a few minutes ago.
Hold on a sec. Let me turn that one.
Thank you to whoever is watching. If you're still on.
Okay, let me. Maybe it was glued in the right spot. Let me recenter my peacock. And yes, it actually was. I'm actually just putting it a little bit more.
Janet, she'll probably be posting this later in the private group, probably tomorrow morning.
What, the materials list?
Yeah, because we're going to go out to dinner tonight.
Yeah. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you like?
Did you reglue it?
I already re-glued it.
Oh, okay.
I already
awesome.
had the glue on the stick
Yay.
after I cut it. Yes, sir.
Zoom in.
There we go. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to pull this one. There we go. Super, super simple.
Obviously, that's a big wreath. Yeah, it's about 24 inches. Right, 24
You want me to tell you where it's at? So this is a 36-inch door. Let's just do the outside math. I think we said it's about 25. It's definitely not 26. We know the base with just the curls on it came in at 24. So maybe with just a touch of the feathers and the ribbon tails, that's where it all lines up. But I hope you guys like this, and I challenge you to come back on Sunday. One of two designs is happening for Sunday. Can't let in what exactly it is. If I get some of my supplies that are supposed to come in tomorrow, that will be Sundays. If not, I have a backup one that kind of just reminds you that there's no place like home. So come watch Sunday at 6 Pacific, which is 8 Central and 9 Eastern time. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this design.
Cheryl had one question. So how did you get it on your website before you made it?
How do I get it on my website before I make it?
You had another one, right?
Yeah, I had one that I had made before.
That was similar.
Very similar to it. Or you can just create just a static image that says this is a Facebook Live.
Of the sign, yeah.
Yeah, or just a picture of the sign. Yep, that's how you do it. All right, everyone, well, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.